Paseo de la Reforma is a wide avenue that runs diagonally across the heart of Mexico City. It was designed by Ferdinand von Rosenzweig in the 1860s and modeled after the great boulevards of Europe, such as the Ringstrasse in Vienna and the Champs-Élysées in Paris. After the French intervention in Mexico overthrew the constitutional president Benito Juárez, the newly crowned Emperor Maximilian made his mark on the conquered city. He commissioned a grand avenue linking the city center with his imperial residence, Chapultepec Castle, which was then on the southwestern edge of town. The project was originally named Paseo de la Emperatriz in honor of Maximilian's consort Empress Carlota. After her return to Europe and Maximilian's subsequent execution, the restored Juárez government renamed the Paseo in honor of the Reform War. It is now home to many of Mexico's tallest buildings such as the Torre Mayor and others in the Zona Rosa. More modern extensions continue the avenue at an angle to the old Paseo. To the northeast it continues toward Tlatelolco, where it changes its name near the Plaza de las Tres Culturas. There it divides into Calzada de Guadalupe and Calzada de los Misterios that continue toward La Villa. Its western portion going west from Chapultepec Park passes south of Polanco on its way through the affluent neighborhood of Lomas de Chapultepec and then into Coajimalpa and Santa Fe on the outskirts of the city, although when it reaches this point it is more a highway than a promenade. Today, the Reforma is filled with tourist attractions, luxurious restaurants and hotels, office buildings, public art exhibitions, and new construction. Reforma has become a traditional place for the Mexicans to celebrate or protest. Most protest rallies commonly go along Reforma from the Angel of Independence to the Zocalo, or from the Zocalo to Los Pinos. Many parades also make their way through Reforma. The Angel of Independence roundabout is a traditional place for the celebration of the victories of the national football team, mostly during World Cups. In 1864, during the French intervention in Mexico, the capital and much of the country was controlled by the foreign invaders, with Juárez's Republican government on the run in northern Mexico. In Mexico City, Maximilian I was installed as emperor. He took up residence in Chapultepec Castle with his wife Empress Carlota. Modernizing the capital was part of a more general reform program to modernize the country. These included the building of infrastructure to improve domestic communications, including roads and railroads. One such project type was the creation of a series of boulevards, imitating European ones such as the Ringstrasse in Vienna, or the ones under construction at that time in Paris under Napoleon III. Lined with grand monuments, two such projects were begun, one on Avenida Chapultepec, which was never completed, and the other to connect the city center with Chapultepec Castle. The latter was named Paseo de la Emperatriz, in honor of Empress Carlota, and was to be for the personal use of the emperor. Austrian mining engineer Alois Bolland was put in charge of the project and designed what was finally implemented, the route and the construction of 6 boulevards radiating outward from the Zocalo. Mexico City's main square was assigned to a committee of prominent architects and artists. The committee's original proposal planned, however, this would have required the demolition of large portion of the buildings in the city. As happened in Paris, the committee decided instead to begin the boulevard at what was then the edge of the city, 1.5 kilometers west of the Zocalo, where Avenida Bucareli meets Avenida Juárez and where the equestrian statue of Charles IV of Spain stood. From that location, the Paseo's route led to the bottom of the royal residential area at Chapultepec Castle, where it connected to the road circling up to the castle at the top of the hill. The Austrian engineers Bolland and Ferdinand van Rosenzweig were assigned to construct the boulevard. Originally it included 2 vehicle paths, 9 meters wide each, a central island 1.5 meters wide, and 2 pedestrian side paths, each 9 meters wide, resplendent with ornamental plants and trees. The city government and the owners of the agricultural land along the route opposed the plan. Reasons included the fragility of the land, which was reclaimed lake bed of Lake Texcoco, and that the saltiness of the soil would supposedly not support the lush vegetation required. Despite opposition, the project continued. After a competition, it was assigned to the brothers Havan and Ramon Ager under the supervision of the Ministry of Development, Colonization, Industry and Commerce, headed by Luis Robles Pazuela. Of the original 3.15 kilometers long project, only one part was completed between 1864 and 1865. A road 20 meters wide, which was enormous for those days. Without a central median, only a few areas on the side reserved F.